Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about the iPhone 13 Pro Max and if it's still okay for everyday use, so let's get to the point. The iPhone 13 Pro Max has a sleek and premium design. It has a stainless steel frame that still looks amazing and feels premium in hand. And the frosted glass panel on the back looks as good as ever. But to be perfectly honest, it looks very similar to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is not a bad thing at all. But no drastic changes were made here, except for a bigger camera module and a smaller notch, which in my opinion makes no difference whatsoever. It's a welcome change of course, but not big enough of a reason to upgrade. Also, some people hate the massive camera bump, but I really like it. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger with each generation. Okay, so let's talk about size. If you're new to the iPhone Max models, they are massive and they can be quite heavy. So it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're not used to this kind of phone. Most people will need both hands to text and do many things, but hey, it's a trade-off for a massive battery life and a stunning screen. Just be prepared to do some finger stretches and maybe try it out before buying just to make sure that you're comfortable with it. The iPhone 13 Pro Max design is safe, predictable, and lacks that wow factor. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I still think it looks fantastic and Apple completely nailed it. It just wasn't a big change from the previous generation. Again, not a bad thing. The 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display is a showstopper. It's incredibly sharp, and this is the first generation of the iPhone to come with a high refresh rate display. Finally, the 120Hz ProMotion display ensures buttery smooth animations and responsiveness. Whether you're watching videos, editing photos, or scrolling through social media, the display impresses. HDR content looks stunning with deep blacks and vibrant colors. ProMotion is a really big deal here because it dynamically adjusts its refresh rate based on what's being displayed. For example, when you're reading static content, it might lower the refresh rate to save battery, and that's one of the big reasons why the battery life in this phone is amazing. But during scrolling or gaming, it ramps up to 120Hz for a smoother experience. ProMotion's 120Hz display makes everything feel more fluid, responsive, and visually pleasing, and it's a game changer for smoothness and responsiveness on the iPhone. Powered by the A15 Bionic chip, the iPhone 13 Pro Max delivers exceptional performance. Apps launch instantly, multitasking is seamless, and gaming is a joy. The 5G connectivity ensures fast download speeds. Whether you're a casual or a power user, this phone won't disappoint. In everyday life, the iPhone 13 Pro Max feels snappy and responsive. Whether you're browsing, taking photos, or playing games, it's great to have a very powerful tool with you at all times. The A15 Bionic chip makes the iPhone 13 Pro Max feel fast, efficient, and ready for anything. And it's so fast and powerful that it will be fast for a few years. This is where the iPhone 13 Pro Max truly shines. It features a triple lens camera setup with a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lens. In bright or normal light, the pictures this phone takes are very hard to distinguish from the iPhone 13 or even the iPhone 12. Where the iPhone 13 Pro Max camera truly shines is in low light. The main wide-angle sensor has seen a massive upgrade from the previous generation. Apple really squeezed everything out of the 12-megapixel sensor, the same resolution they used since the iPhone 6s, and the 13 Pro Max is the last generation to feature the 12-megapixel sensor as its main driver. The sensor itself is much bigger than before, and on top of all that, the lens has an f1.5 aperture, which means that more light can go through the sensor. And all that adds up to a camera that can very quickly take in a massive amount of light relative to other phones. Combined with Apple's computational photography, the low light performance of the 13 Pro Max is simply amazing. The ultra-wide camera also got a big upgrade, and it's also more capable in low light photography with faster shutter speeds. And this was actually my biggest complaint since the ultra-wide camera was introduced back on the iPhone 11 series. There was a massive gap in the quality of the ultra-wide shots compared to the regular shots. The wide shots are still better, but the gap has narrowed. The ultra-wide camera also enables macro photography, as the iPhone 13 Pro Max can detect when you're trying to shoot something up close. The telephoto lens is 3 times, up from 2.5 times on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which gives you more reach to zoom in. This will give some extra zing to your portrait mode photos. 3 times on the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the equivalent of a 77mm lens, which is quite good for nice, straight portraits with good background separation and compression. The digital zoom does not go past 15 times for photos and 9 times for videos. During the day, the quality is very similar to the 12 Pro Max and previous models, with only zoom shots getting a more noticeable boost and some very slight variations in colors. The selfie camera on the iPhone 13 Pro Max got a decent update and captures more dynamic shots and better exposes faces. Now here's a very nice feature. Photographic styles. Think of photographic styles as magical filters that work their charm before you even take the picture. They're like makeup for your pictures, and they enhance certain aspects and give your photos a more unique vibe. So instead of slapping a filter on afterwards, they adjust things in real time as you compose your shot. So the iPhone is tweaking your colors, contrast, and mood right there in the viewfinder. Now my personal favorite, video. The iPhone held the crown for best smartphone video for a very long time, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max is no exception. Video quality is simply amazing. You still don't have some of the features of the Android competition, and things like 8K videos are not in sight yet, but what the iPhone does offer is Apple ProRes. ProRes means smoother editing on your computer. It's kinder to your CPU, and it's great for preserving quality during post-production of your videos. During the day, the improvements in video quality are very subtle to the point that you may not even notice them. There's also no noticeable change in video stabilization, but we already had excellent video stabilization on iPhones before, so no big changes were expected here. Now, cinematic mode. Cinematic mode is basically the equivalent of portrait mode for video, which does two things. First, it blurs the background like portrait mode for video, and secondly, it would automatically rack focus as your subject looks away to other people and then reacquire it as they look back into the camera. It can have the same problems as portrait mode for photos. It rarely works in low light, for example. It can also have weird cutouts around hair and glasses. Cinematic mode only works in 1080p at 30 frames per second, no 4K for now. I think cinematic mode has great potential, but at this very moment it feels kind of gimmicky. It feels like it's a few years away from being truly useful for anything beyond casual use. To summarize, the iPhone 13 Pro Max has a fantastic camera that is still one of the top performers. You can get amazing pictures and incredible videos, and it's a great thing to have such a powerful camera with you at all times, whether you're a casual photographer or a pro. The battery life on the iPhone 13 Pro Max is outstanding. It will easily last through a busy day. Whether you're streaming videos, browsing, or taking photos, you won't be reaching for the charger constantly. Plus, MagSafe and fast wire charging are good to have. I usually go to bed at night with over 60% of battery left. Battery life is amazing and is one of the biggest differences I noticed when I first got this phone. Is it still worth buying? Yes. Of course, absolutely. The iPhone 13 Pro Max remains a top-tier device. Its display, camera, battery, and overall performance make it an excellent choice. If you prioritize content creation, photography, or simply want the best of Apple's ecosystem, this phone is worth every penny. And the best part of it all is that it's not an expensive option anymore. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is a powerhouse that caters to professionals, creatives, and anyone who demands the best. Of course, there are better and newer options out there, but the iPhone 13 Pro Max gives you so much value for the money. So if you can handle its size and weight, it's a fantastic choice and you won't regret it. And on that note, it's time for me to go. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button, and if you subscribe, that would be amazing. I hope that you guys are all doing great, and I'll see you on the next one.